My name is Tony Orrico. I'm presenting 8 circles, 8 gestures. It's a part of my Penwald series, a series of bilateral drawings, so I'm drawing with 2 hands. I'm drawing with my body, again using 2 hands and the measure of my arm span, filling that space with 8 unique gestures. Rendition, I introduce 7 other gestures other than what I consider my first circle or my home circle. Yeah, and they've been inspired by the relationship of the work and its development over time, different invitations, collecting very basic forms from nature and adapting them into a rhythm with drawing with my arms. Quite nice to hear the graphite against the paper and the vibration and the sound. You can hear those rhythms, and I attach to them in each circle as my sort of pacemaking. Well, the imagery is incidental in the sense that I'm thinking more conceptually, working within limitation to create a freedom inside of an expression that's usually grand in scale, but really deducing the elements down to a few variables at play. And so I work within those boundaries instead of using any added expression beyond the boundaries of what's at play. So it's a bit of a mystery to me all over again, but I really quickly settle into a space that's very personal and familiar. It becomes a place of home for me to be inside of my own drawings. That is a very clear space and very calming space. Time in presenting these pieces, looking for unique crossings with unique audiences, and also honoring the change of my body, my aging body, aging self, and yes, in that dichotomy of years later, an aging body but a more focused mind, and how that fuels the experience and helps me sort of separate the other variables, which is the environment itself, and how that affects that space, and trying to be fully aware of that interchange, that play with the environment. So it could be witnessed by a large amount of people or not, and I'm interested in not the reactivity towards that, but being able to settle into a familiar space and kind of clear those added variables away. This type of awareness training comes from my relationship to dance and the embodied knowledge that I possess through various experiences, but a large focus of that being my work with Trisha Brown and my learning about efficiency in the body and using leverage in order to kind of build that level of awareness. Yeah, it takes a lot of trust to imagine what the larger perspective. There's a vulnerability inside of it because I can only get so much distance so close. I try to really keep my periphery sort of wide but soft lens, and just trust in the mechanics, that if I commit to and have a sensitivity towards the mechanics for the duration of the time and consider how to pace myself inside of that, that I deliver the sort of image at large. I think that's a really important thing to differentiate, both like to honor the lineage of this use of material and the simplicity that it's very sort of a departure from postmodern ideas that I was both directly in relationship to and later learned about. And so fitting myself into that history and thinking about progress inside of that or just variation, consciousness becomes really important. And so I think about consciousness as a medium and upholding that integrity, and maybe the difference being with work in the past of just the expression itself and the poetics of that, in being inspired to move, sort of the improvisational elements behind that and the outpour of the sort of human viscera. I'm thinking about organizing that space and controlling that space, and so I sort of remove that expression from it, and the only sort of raw expression left is the exhaustion of the body, the effort and the delivery. It's a continuum in my entire practice to really value the condition of the body, creating space for it, to clarify the line. And so the quality comes from the circumstances and it's not generated, it's not creative qualities. They're purely practical. Yeah, it's very special. I'm excited for this rendition to be a part of the repertory of it, and as far as space, it's dreamlike, and it feels like studio space, but at a scale that creates some really nice perspective and distance from the experience. The sound will be incredible in here. I think you'll really hear the movement of the graphite. You'll hear the breath in the body. It's going to be quite nice. I just want to express my gratitude for this invitation here at Bodega, Otazu. Thank you.